First contact and desperate call. The memorial wall stretched endlessly through the halls of the Nixian High Council, each shimmering light representing a world lost to the Void Hunters. High Counselor Vera's bioluminescent markings pulsed with a dull blue as she traced her fingers along the wall, stopping at the most recent addition. Lyra Prime, population 8 billion, fallen just 3 days ago. High Counselor, a voice echoed through the chamber. The emergency session is beginning. Vera turned to face her aide, Karn, whose own markings flickered with anxiety. The Nixians had spent millennia building their civilization on principles of technological advancement and diplomatic cooperation. But those principles meant nothing to the Void Hunters, entities that emerged from the dark spaces between galaxies, consuming entire worlds and converting them into vast neural networks for purposes beyond comprehension. The council chamber was barely half full, a stark reminder of how many worlds they'd already lost. The remaining council members' bioluminescence created a haunting aurora across the chamber's crystalline walls. Vera took her place at the center podium, her voice steady despite the weight of her words. In the past solar cycle, we've lost 18 systems to the Void Hunters. Our most advanced weapons barely scratched their quantum-shifted hulls. Our attempts at communication are met with silence. At our current rate of losses, the Nixian Alliance will cease to exist within 2 years. Murmurs rippled through the chamber, but Vera continued. However, our deep space monitoring network has detected something unusual, a civilization we've never encountered before, one that might be our last hope. The chamber's central hologram activated, displaying a small blue-green planet. They call it Earth, Vera explained. Its inhabitants, humans, are a species unlike any we've encountered in our 12,000 years of space exploration. Images began playing. Humans fighting wars, but also healing their wounded. Building cities from rubble, launching primitive rockets into space, diving into ocean trenches, and scaling impossible mountains. They are not the most advanced species we found, Vera admitted. They haven't even achieved faster-than-light travel. But they possess something we lost long ago. The ability to face impossible odds and refuse to submit. You can't be serious, Council Member Zix interrupted, his markings flashing red with alarm. They're primitive. Look at their technology. They still use chemical propulsion. What they lack in technology, they'd make up for in innovation and adaptability. Vera countered. Watch this. The hologram shifted to show various human achievements. Their first nuclear chain reaction, the moon landing, the development of artificial intelligence, the creation of quantum computers. In less than 300 years, they went from horse-drawn carriages to quantum computing. While we spent millennia perfecting single technologies, they throw themselves at problems from every angle, finding solutions we'd never consider. But they're violent. Another council member protested. Their history is full of warfare. Exactly. Vera's markings pulsed with intensity. They understand conflict in ways we've forgotten. Every major technological advancement in their history came from overcoming seemingly impossible challenges. They don't just survive. They emerge stronger. The chamber fell silent as Vera projected another image. A Void Hunter vessel breaking apart a Nixian defense fleet. Our weapons are useless because we designed them based on known physics. Humans, they look at problems differently. They question everything, even their own fundamental understanding of reality. What are you suggesting? Zix asked, his opposition wavering. I'm suggesting we make contact. Offer them our technology in exchange for their help. Not just their military assistance, but their perspective, their way of thinking. And if they turn our technology against us, someone called out. Vera's markings shifted to a deep purple, the color of absolute certainty. They won't. I've studied them extensively. Humans are capable of great violence, yes, but also of incredible compassion. When faced with a common enemy, they set aside their differences. World War I, climate crisis, the Great Pandemic, time and again, they've proven that they're strongest when united against a common threat. She gestured to the memorial wall visible through the chamber's windows. "We are facing extinction. Our civilization, with all its achievements and knowledge, stands on the brink of annihilation. We need warriors who think differently, who see possibilities where we see only obstacles. We need humans." The council chamber erupted in debate, but Vera noticed something she hadn't seen in months: hope. The Nixians had built their society on the principle of rising above their primitive instincts, of choosing peace over conflict. But in doing so, they had lost something essential: the drive to fight when fighting was necessary. "I've already prepared a first contact package," Vera announced once the chamber quieted. "A message that will appeal to their nature. We won't just be asking for help, we'll be offering them the greatest challenge their species has ever faced: saving an entire civilization from an impossible enemy." The council voted. The decision wasn't unanimous, but it was decisive. Within hours, the message was sent, traversing the vast distance between their worlds. As Vera watched the transmission beam activate, her markings pulsed with a complex mixture of emotions. The Nixians were about to share their advanced technology with a species that still fought wars with projectile weapons and nuclear devices. It was either the greatest gamble in their history or their last hope for survival. But as she studied the holographic images of humans continuing to strive and innovate despite overwhelming odds, she felt certain of one thing: if any species could find a way to defeat the Void Hunters, it would be these remarkable, resilient beings who refused to accept the impossible. Operation Earthborn Shield. Dr. Maya Patel stood in the United Earth Defense Command Center, studying the holographic display that showed the Void Hunters' path of destruction across Nixian space. 6 months ago, she had been leading quantum physics research at CERN. Now she was helping integrate human warfare concepts with alien technology that seemed to defy the laws of physics themselves. "The simulations are ready, Doctor," her assistant announced, bringing up a new hologram showing a modified Earth vessel. The ship looked nothing like the sleek, crystalline designs of Nixian craft. Instead, it bristled with what appeared to be industrial mining equipment, particle accelerators, and what looked suspiciously like repurposed oil drilling technology. "Begin test sequence alpha," Maya ordered, her eyes fixed on the simulation. The test target was a replica of a Void Hunter vessel, its quantum-shifted hull gleaming with that impossible geometrical pattern that had proven impervious to Nixian weapons. The Earth ship's modifications looked crude compared to Nixian technology, but Maya smiled as the simulation began. They weren't trying to be elegant. They were trying to win. "Approaching target pattern range," the AI announced. "Initiating chaos sequence." The modified Earth vessel began what would have appeared to any military strategist as completely erratic movement. But Maya knew better. The pattern wasn't random. It was based on the mathematics of fluid turbulence, making it fundamentally unpredictable even to the Void Hunters' advanced computational systems. "Fire primary weapon array," Maya commanded. The simulation showed multiple beams engaging simultaneously: modified mining lasers, plasma cutters, and focused microwave emitters, all firing in a precisely calculated sequence. Each beam was individually too weak to damage the Void Hunter's hull, but together they created a resonance pattern that even quantum-shifted materials couldn't ignore. "Direct hit. Target hull integrity compromising at quantum level," the AI reported. "Simulation successful." Maya allowed herself a small smile. "Send the data to Admiral Chen." Across the facility, in what had once been an aircraft hangar and was now a joint human-Nixian command center, Admiral Sarah Chen was briefing High Counselor Vera on humanity's progress. "You've adapted our technology in ways we never considered," Vera observed, her markings pulsing with a mixture of amazement and concern as she studied the modifications humans had made to the Nixian ships. "That's because you've been thinking like advanced beings," Chen replied, pulling up a diagram. "We're thinking like survivors. Your civilization spent millennia perfecting single solutions. Humanity, we throw everything at the wall. and see what sticks. The display showed Earth's transformed defense fleet. What had started as a handful of primitive space vessels had evolved into a hybrid force that combined Nixian technology with human ingenuity. Mining lasers had been repurposed into weapons that could crack quantum-shifted hulls. Oil drilling techniques had been adapted to create vibration patterns that disrupted the Void Hunters' neural networks. Even old Russian Cold War satellites had been modified with Nixian tech to create an early warning system that could detect Void Hunter quantum signatures. But the real breakthrough, Chen continued, came when we stopped trying to beat their technology and started trying to confuse it. The Admiral brought up Dr. Patel's latest simulation. The Void Hunters operate on perfect mathematical patterns. Their ships move in geometric formations that would make Euclid weep. But that precision is their weakness. They can't adapt to chaos. Real chaos, not just random movement. Vera's markings flickered with sudden understanding. You're using their own precision against them. Exactly. Dr. Patel's team discovered that the Void Hunters' quantum-shifted hulls maintain their integrity through perfect mathematical harmonies. Disrupt that harmony, and the quantum shift fails. Vera finished, her markings now pulsing with excitement. We're calling it Operation Earthborn Shield, Chen explained. The first joint human-Nixian fleet will launch within the week. We've modified 30 Earth vessels and integrated them with your remaining battle groups. Your people have accomplished in 6 months what we couldn't in years, Vera observed. Chen's expression grew serious. Because we're not trying to understand the Void Hunters, Counselor. We're trying to beat them. Humanity has a long history of facing enemies we don't fully comprehend, but finding ways to prevail anyway. The Admiral led Vera to another section of the command center, where dozens of humans and Nixians worked side by side. Engineers argued over modifications, tactical officers ran combat simulations, and scientists from both species debated theories about the Void Hunters' true nature. Look at them, Chen said softly. 6 months ago, we didn't know aliens existed. Now we're teaching your people how to fight while they teach us how to bend physics. This is humanity at its best, when we have an impossible problem to solve and everything to lose. A young lieutenant rushed up to them, tablet in hand. Admiral, Dr. Patel's latest simulations just came in. The chaos theory approach works. The Void Hunters' quantum shifts can't maintain stability under sustained irregular attack patterns. Chen turned to Vera, her expression determined. We're ready for the first offensive. The Void Hunters won't expect their perfect patterns to be met with deliberate chaos. They won't expect mining lasers modified with your quantum technology. And most importantly, they won't expect humanity. Vera's markings pulsed with a deep blue of hope, a color that had become rare among her people. You truly believe we can win? Chen's response was immediate. Counselor, in our history, humanity has faced extinction-level threats multiple times. Ice ages, plagues, world wars, climate disaster. Every time, we not only survived but emerged stronger. The Void Hunters might be the most advanced enemy we've ever faced, but they're about to learn what happens when you back humanity into a corner. As if to emphasize her point, alarms began blaring throughout the command center. Void Hunter fleet detected approaching the Proxima system. A voice announced over the speakers. All ships prepare for immediate deployment. Operation Earthborn Shield is now active. Chen looked at the tactical display showing the approaching enemy fleet, their ships arranged in their usual perfect geometric patterns. Time to show them what chaos theory looks like in practice. The Battle of Proxima Dawn. Captain James Rodriguez watched the tactical display aboard the EDF Chimera as the Void Hunter fleet approached Proxima Dawn. Their ships moved in perfect geometric formations, each vessel maintaining mathematically precise distances from its neighbors. Beautiful, lethal, and utterly alien. All ships report ready, Captain, Lieutenant Sarah Wong announced from her station. The bridge crew was a mixture of humans and Nixians, their stations modified to accommodate both species' needs. Dr. Patel's chaos algorithms are loaded into all combat systems. Rodriguez nodded, feeling the weight of history on his shoulders. This wasn't just humanity's first major interstellar battle. It was a fight for the survival of two civilizations. Initiate Operation Thunderclap. Across the combined fleet, modified Earth vessels began moving in seemingly random patterns, their trajectories based on complex mathematical formulae derived from weather systems and fluid dynamics. The Nixian ships, traditionally arranged in precise formations, had adapted their tactics to complement the human approach. Void hunters holding formation, Wong reported. They're not adjusting to our movement patterns. Just as Dr. Patel predicted, Rodriguez smiled grimly. They can't comprehend deliberate chaos. Execute Phase 2. The Chimera's weapon systems came online, a bizarre combination of human industrial technology and Nixian quantum mechanics. What had once been mining lasers now pulsed with energies that could disrupt quantum-shifted hulls. Repurposed oil drilling equipment generated vibration patterns designed to shatter crystalline structures. Enemy fleet entering optimal range, the tactical officer announced. They're maintaining standard attack formation. Rodriguez keyed the fleet-wide channel. All ships, execute attack pattern tsunami. Weapons free. The human ships surged forward in their unpredictable patterns, each vessel firing its hybrid weapons in carefully timed sequences. The Void Hunters' perfect formations began to waver as their quantum-shifted hulls encountered vibrations they couldn't compensate for. First hit confirmed, Wong called out excitedly. Quantum disruption detected in target Alpha 7. On the main viewer, one of the Void Hunter vessels began to shimmer, its seemingly impenetrable hull developing a web of fractures as the combined effects of multiple weapon systems created resonance patterns that propagated through its quantum field. All ships, concentrate fire on confirmed breach points, Rodriguez ordered. Nixian squadrons moved to secondary attack positions. The Nixian vessels, their crews having trained alongside humans for months, executed their new role perfectly. They no longer tried to match the Void Hunters' precision, but instead embraced controlled disorder, their attacks coming from constantly shifting angles that prevented the enemy from establishing stable defensive patterns. Multiple hostile vessels showing signs of quantum field destabilization, the science officer reported. Their formation is breaking down. For the first time since they emerged from deep space, the Void Hunters showed signs of confusion. Their perfect geometric patterns began to fragment as they attempted to adapt to an attack strategy that defied their mathematical models. They're trying to regroup, Wong observed. New formation patterns detected. Not today, Rodriguez muttered. Execute Operation Firebreak. The human fleet split into smaller attack groups, each one targeting a different section of the enemy formation. Mining lasers modified with Nixian quantum technology carved through space, their beams phase-shifted to bypass the Void Hunters' defenses. Electromagnetic pulses, once considered primitive by Nixian standards, now carried quantum disruption patterns that played havoc with the enemy's neural networks. First enemy vessel critical, someone shouted. On the main screen, one of the Void Hunter ships suddenly collapsed in on itself, its perfect crystalline structure shattering as quantum fields failed. The victory was short-lived. The remaining Void Hunters began adapting, their ships attempting to mirror the chaos of the human attack patterns. But there was something artificial about their movements. They were trying to calculate randomness, to predict the unpredictable. They're learning, Rodriguez realized. But they're learning wrong. All ships, initiate Sequence Hydra. The combined fleet's attack patterns shifted again, this time based on the seemingly random, but naturally occurring patterns found in biological systems. The Void Hunters, attempting to match the previous chaos pattern, found themselves unable to adapt to this new form of unpredictability. Multiple quantum field collapses detected. The science officer reported, their voice steady despite the excitement of the moment. Enemy fleet integrity dropping below 60%. Rodriguez watched as more Void Hunter vessels began to break apart, their perfect geometries unable to maintain coherence against weapons designed to create deliberate disorder. The remaining enemy ships started to retreat, their formation now completely disrupted. "Sir," Wong called out, "we're detecting unusual energy readings from the destroyed Void Hunter vessels. Some kind of signal being transmitted. Can we trace it?" "Negative, but Dr. Patel's team is analyzing the pattern." "Sir, it doesn't match any previous Void Hunter communications we've recorded." The price of victory. Dr. Maya Patel hadn't slept in 48 hours, but she couldn't stop staring at the data streaming across her holographic displays. The energy signatures captured during the Battle of Proxima Dawn defied everything they thought they knew about the Void Hunters. "These aren't weapon signatures," she muttered, her hands dancing through the holographic data. "They're not even communication patterns. This is something else entirely." High Counselor Vera stood nearby, her bioluminescent markings pulsing with curiosity as she studied the same data. The Nixian leader had insisted on joining the research team personally after learning about the mysterious signals. "The patterns," Vera observed, "they remind me of something from our ancient archives. Before we achieved spaceflight, our scientists detected similar energy signatures emanating from quantum space rifts." Maya's eyes widened. "Quantum space rifts? You mean natural phenomena?" "Yes, though we never fully understood them. They would appear randomly, emit complex energy patterns, then vanish." Vera's markings flickered thoughtfully. "We eventually dismissed them as natural quantum fluctuations. Or maybe you were detecting the Void Hunters long before they revealed themselves," Maya suggested, pulling up new data sets. "Look at this, the energy patterns from the destroyed vessels. They're not random. They're fractal." Across the facility, Admiral Chen was reviewing casualty reports from the battle when Captain Rodriguez entered her office. Despite their victory, the cost had been significant. 3 Earth ships lost, 2 Nixian vessels destroyed, and hundreds of casualties. "The modified weapons worked better than expected," Rodriguez reported, "but the Void Hunters adapted faster than we anticipated. Next time, they'll be ready for our chaos theory approach." Chen nodded grimly. "They learn. That's the problem with fighting an enemy that's essentially a vast neural network. Every encounter makes them stronger." "There's something else." Rodriguez hesitated. "Dr. Patel's team has been analyzing those energy signatures we detected. They don't think the Void Hunters are what we assumed they were." "Meaning?" "The signals suggest they might not be attacking us. At least, not in the way we thought. They might be trying to communicate." Chen's expression hardened. "They've destroyed dozens of worlds." "Rodriguez, that's not communication." "Maybe not from our perspective," he countered. "But what if we're dealing with something so alien that what we see as destruction is something else entirely to them?" Before Chen could respond, an alert flashed across her desk display. "Multiple Void Hunter fleets detected," the AI announced. "They're approaching simultaneously from 3 different vectors." "They're not just learning," Chen realized. "They're evolving their tactics." Sound general quarters. As alarm klaxons blared throughout the facility, Maya and Vera made a breakthrough in their analysis. The fractal patterns in the energy signatures weren't random. They formed a coherent structure, like a language based on mathematical principles. "It's not just communication," Maya breathed, her exhaustion forgotten. "These patterns, they're identical to the quantum field equations that govern their hulls. The Void Hunters aren't just using quantum mechanics, they're speaking it." Vera's markings pulsed with sudden understanding. The geometric patterns of their ships, the precision of their movements. "It's all part of the same system," Maya finished. "They're not trying to destroy worlds, they're trying to reshape them into something they can understand. Something that speaks their language." The implications were staggering. The Void Hunters weren't mindless destroyers. They were an intelligence so alien that their very attempt to communicate was devastating on a planetary scale. Their perfect geometric patterns weren't just tactical formations. They were letters in a quantum alphabet that humanity and the Nixians were only beginning to comprehend. "Admiral," Maya called over the emergency channel, We need to stop the attack fleet. The Void Hunters. They're not what we think they are. If we could just find a way to communicate. Legacy of Two Worlds. The EDF Chimera hung in space at the edge of the Proxima system, its modified quantum field generators humming with unprecedented power. Captain Rodriguez stood on his bridge, watching as Dr. Maya Patel made final adjustments to the ship's systems. They had less than an hour before the Void Hunter fleets arrived. "Are you certain about this?" Rodriguez asked, studying the complex mathematical patterns flowing across his tactical display. "Mathematically, yes," Maya replied without looking up from her work. "But we're attempting to communicate with beings that experience reality through quantum states. It's like trying to explain color to a creature that perceives only gravity." High Counselor Vera's hologram flickered beside them, her markings pulsing with a mixture of hope and anxiety. "The other ships are in position. Admiral Chen has the defensive fleet ready if this experiment fails." The plan was either brilliant or desperate, possibly both. They had modified the Chimera's quantum field generators to create geometric patterns similar to those of the Void Hunters, but with crucial differences. Instead of the perfect, static patterns that marked Void Hunter ships, these would evolve and change according to mathematical principles derived from Earth's natural systems. Think of it as teaching them a new dialect. Maya had explained during the frantic preparation hours. They speak in perfect, geometric patterns. We're going to show them that mathematics can be beautiful even when it's not perfect. Multiple quantum signatures detected, Lieutenant Wong announced from her station. Void Hunter fleets approaching from all three vectors. Rodriguez took a deep breath. Begin transmission. The Chimera's modified generators activated, creating a complex quantum field that rippled through space. The pattern wasn't the precise geometry of Void Hunter ships, but rather the mathematical beauty of a growing tree, the spiral of a nautilus shell, the branching patterns of lightning. Void Hunters responding, Wong reported tensely. They're slowing their approach. On the main viewer, the enemy fleets had indeed paused their advance. Their perfect formations remained intact, but something had changed. The geometric patterns of their hulls began to shift, mimicking aspects of the Chimera's transmission. "They're trying to understand," Maya whispered. "Initiate second sequence." The Chimera's quantum field changed again, this time displaying mathematical representations of Earth's ecosystems, the complex interplay of predator and prey populations, the growth patterns of forests, the flow of ocean currents. It was mathematics that embraced chaos rather than rejected it. "Energy spike detected," Wong called out. Massive quantum field fluctuation from the lead Void Hunter vessel. The space between the fleets suddenly filled with geometric patterns more complex than anything they'd seen before. The patterns shifted and evolved, combining elements of both Void Hunter precision and Earth's natural mathematics. They're not just responding, Maya realized, her eyes wide as she studied the data. They're learning. They're trying to find a middle ground between their language and ours. Vera's hologram flickered with excitement. The patterns, they match quantum signatures we've detected from inhabitable worlds, worlds the Void Hunters ignored. Maya's fingers flew across her console as understanding dawned. They weren't trying to destroy worlds, she said. They were trying to make them comprehensible by their standards. They couldn't understand life that wasn't based on perfect geometric patterns. Until now, Rodriguez added, watching as the complex mathematical dialogue continued between the ships. The next hour was tense as the exchange continued. The Void Hunters began incorporating more and more elements of Earth's natural mathematics into their patterns, while Maya and her team refined their own transmissions to better approximate the aliens' quantum language. Finally, a new pattern emerged, one that combined the precision of Void Hunter geometry with the organic complexity of Earth's mathematics. It was a true synthesis, a way of describing reality that both species could comprehend. "They're transmitting something else," Wong announced. "It's coordinates." Maya studied the data, her exhaustion forgotten in the excitement of discovery. Not just coordinates. It's a quantum signature for a space-time intersection. I think they're inviting us to meet them. Admiral Chen's voice came over the comm. Are we certain this isn't a trap? Look at their ships, Maya replied. Their formation has changed. It's not just geometric anymore. It's incorporating natural patterns. They're showing us they understand. The decision was made after intense debate. The combined human Nixian fleet would send a delegation to the coordinates, led by the Chimera. As they prepared for the journey, Maya worked with Vera to refine their understanding of the new quantum language they'd created together. It's remarkable, Vera observed, her markings pulsing with wonder. Your species took our technology and used it not just to fight, but to bridge a gap we never even knew existed. That's what humans do, Maya smiled. We don't just solve problems, we redefine them. The Void Hunters weren't our enemies. They were just speaking a language we couldn't understand. So we taught them a new one. 1 month later, the Chimera emerged from quantum space at the designated coordinates. They found themselves in a region of space where quantum fields naturally intersected, creating patterns of incredible complexity and beauty. The Void Hunters were waiting for them, their ships now displaying a harmonious blend of geometric precision and natural mathematics. The first true communication between the species took place there, in a language of quantum mathematics that embraced both order and chaos. The Void Hunters, they learned, had been exploring the galaxy not to destroy, but to understand. Their perfect geometric patterns were their way of making sense of a universe that seemed chaotic to them. Through humanity's intervention, both civilizations had evolved. The Void Hunters learned to appreciate the mathematics of natural systems, while humanity and the Nixians gained a deeper understanding of quantum reality. The war ended not with destruction, but with comprehension. As the Chimera returned home, carrying the first draft of a quantum treaty that would ensure peace between all 3 civilizations, Maya stood at the ship's viewport, watching the stars streak by. You know what the most human thing about all this was? Rodriguez asked, joining her. What's that? We looked at beings that were destroying entire worlds, beings that seemed completely alien and hostile, and our response wasn't just to fight them. It was to try to understand them, to find a way to talk to them. Maya smiled. That's why the Nixians needed us. Not just for our ability to fight, but for our ability to see possibilities where others see only threats. As the Chimera approached Earth, its quantum field generators hummed with a new pattern, not the perfect geometry of the Void Hunters, nor the chaotic mathematics of nature, but a harmony of both. It was a testament to humanity's greatest strength, not the ability to conquer or destroy, but to adapt, to understand, and to find common ground in the most unlikely places. The stars streaked past, their light refracting through quantum fields that now spoke a language all 3 civilizations could understand. A language that proved that even in the vast, cold expanse of space, communication and understanding were possible if you were willing to learn new ways of speaking.